Hey you guys, welcome back to the next video in the Journal Your Story series, and today it's about talking about sightseeing. And so basically, just to kind of give you a little background on where the video stood, is in the first video that I recorded, I showed you how I covered this envelope. This is a envelope that I receive from the Sticky Club every month, and I basically just cut the sides down and created it into an interactive component in my journal. Now, in that first video, unfortunately I didn't cover my address, and I just wasn't comfortable having my address exposed out there for it, and it was a long period of time. I was like, I tried to edit it out, it just didn't work, and so that's why I'm kind of doing this intro video here. But basically it was taking this envelope and covering it with different cardstock. As you can see, if you don't look at the actual pictures, there's a piece of cardstock that covers this whole back side. I chose all floral because, of course, this is talking about going down into England or going over to England and doing tours of the homes there in the English countryside. And so basically that's kind of what the first half of the video was about. As you know, I've been doing voiceovers, which really help with me filming and not having to worry about my household being silent at the time, unless, of course, when I go to do voiceovers. But that's, so you, in the second half of this video that I show you, I'll show you exactly how I put these items together. So backing up, this was inspired by a book that I read by Susan Branch. I have it over here. I made a copy of it as well. It's called A Fine Romance. This is actually a trilogy series. This is the third book in the series. If you are a hopeless romantic, if you love to read documentaries and about people's lives, read it. In fact, I'm reading it again. I'm reading the series again because I enjoy it so much. And so anyway, but I just wanted to, basically this book here, she basically keeps a journal and a diary in her, as she visits all these different places in the English countryside. So I used that as a guide, and you'll see that I went on and talk about printing these out on the internet. I basically Googled these different places, and then I just did a cut and paste and printed these out so that I could have them for my journal. I did use this piece of artwork here is from Susan Branch, along with this piece right here. So anyway, I wanted to show you, kind of do an intro and explain why when I jump into the voiceover here in just a moment, it will be straight into assembling the actual body of this little interactive envelope. So, alright you guys, I'm sorry for not having that first half, but I'll do another envelope. I love these. I've actually used it in another part of this book, which was sometimes, you know, you want to journal about things that you just don't want quite exposed. And so, I think I've talked about it before, but it's behind here. I've actually washi this together because this is just some personal stuff that was going on, and so I just kind of want to keep that under lock and key, or shall I say under washi. But anyway, look how fun this is. This is my January journal. I know we have a week left. It's getting kind of fluffy here, but look, I got this many pages left. I really am hoping to use this up and start a brand new composition book for February. So you'll see here, you'll also see it in the video here that, because I'm talking about Beatrix Potter's homestead, her hilltop country farm that she purchased, but I love this page, and so I just kind of put it in here, and that may be something that I do throughout this book here, the rest of it, because I do want to basically use this as my January journal and then move into a new composition book for February. So again, I'll do a flip through once it's all said and done. The month is done, and anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. Well, actually, it's going to go right into a voiceover, but this is the completion of the first half of the video, and you won't even know I skipped a beat. But alright you guys, thanks for watching, or stay continued. Alright, so here we are starting the process of filling up the envelope with the different pictures that I had pulled off the internet. This is basically, again, as I mentioned earlier, following the places that Susan Branch went on her journey, and I really wanted to capture these particular spots because although I may not go into detail on this particular layout about each one of these spots, I did want to, or destinations, I did want to add those in there so that when I am planning my trip, I will have an idea of where I want to go. Because what I want to do is really plan out the itinerary, and that way I fit as much as I can in on the time that I'm doing my journey uh, for when I do go visit the English countryside. So, as I mentioned too, I believe is one of my main focuses too is to kind of go to the different tea rooms and to see all the beautiful gardens that are at these particular homes and destinations. On what I did was once I printed these out, I wrote on the back where they were because I knew that once I printed them out, I would probably forget exactly what they were called. But and so I'm using these little labels that are stickers that are navy to write out each name of those destinations. And right now I'm just kind of sorting away just so that they can all fit on the page. And I'm using these really beautiful floral roses and flowers that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. They're actually very thick die cuts, and so they kind of take quite a bit of glue to make sure that they don't pry off the page because they are very sturdy. Um, but I think they're so pretty, and it just adds to the idea of seeing the gardens. And these little cards here, my daughter got them for a gift, and they are very, very cute. They're shabby chic. They have roses on them, and so I have them in my stash because not only they can be used for thank you cards, and of course she can have them anytime that she wants them, but I thought they would work perfect for journaling pages as well. So I'm basically just kind of adding them onto the page so that I can also open them up and add a few more spots to be able to journal in and add some more ephemera. For this particular one, behind the teacup, that's Hilltop with Beatrix Potter. So I definitely wanted to not only add, because this has been on my want to see list forever, but I really wanted to add a little Peter Rabbit in there, which you'll see that I do in just a moment. But yeah, so that's one of the reasons that you always can add little cards to add some extra journaling in there. And of course, there's Jane Austen's home, which would definitely, my daughter and I both would love to go see that particular um, destination. But I'm just kind of writing in, and if you guys get a chance and this is of interest, I highly suggest reading all of Susan Branch's books. This is the third book of a trilogy of just kind of just a documentation of her life, and it's to me, I absolutely love it. I love to read. In fact, I'm reading it again because I had wanted to anyway, and then I was actually just going to read the middle one, and then after reading this one while I was looking through getting the pictures, plate or destination places, I um I said, you know what, I'm gonna start from the very beginning because I love her story and very inspiring. So you also see I put a phone booth in there. I've always envisioned taking a photo of me in one. So that's definitely, I'm hoping they still have them. I know over here you don't see payphones very often at all, um, but I just love those red telephone booths that I've always seen. And um, so that is definitely on the want to do list. These particular things, I did want to put the packaging out there. I got this as back during the quarantine, which I know they still do these occasionally, I think, or I haven't checked their website, but I'll leave their information. It's Little Craft Place. I love Ian and Eunice. They both own the shop. It's actually in Houston. It's a great craft. I mean, it has all the stickers. They have the washi wall. But anyway, you can order a creative box and she fills it full of goodies, and that was part of that. I got a lot of like vintage themed things in there, so it was really fun. Um, and so I finally am using some of her things. It was in one of my ephemera packs, so I was so excited to see that because it works perfectly for this layout. And here, I love this picture of Peter Rabbit, so I put that one away, and so I was going to look through and see if I could find something else, which I did, and so I wanted to uh, and this book here, I have used it in so many of my journals. I bought it just for going through, and it has all Beatrix Potter's books in there, and it has all the illustrations. So I did buy it as a book that I knew I was going to be cutting up. So I think the cover was messed up, but I love adding her watercolor art to any of my pages, and so that was, of course, it was a definite need to um, for visiting Hilltop. You have to have some art in there to definitely can't wait to go and see her. Actually see a lot of the homesteads that are under the trust there to preserve, and so I'm really excited to whenever I do go on this trip. But that's the fun thing about journaling is it doesn't always have to be, it could be dreams and destinations. It doesn't always have to be like current affairs. It can be, I mean, if that's what you want to do, but keep in mind that you can do things from the past. You can, like I'm doing here, is posting a dream that I want to do. And I think when you do things like this, it really puts it out there that it's going to happen, and having a visual and getting an idea. Um, and I also like just learning about other cultures and documenting those things too. Like I know I was really pushing a unicorn. I wanted to add a unicorn, but it just didn't work on this particular page. So I'm trying to find something that I can add to the front there, just to kind of layer up. Maybe really wanted something to write on, but I wasn't really sure um, what to do, what to use, what die cuts I had. And these are some that I have laying around because it is Valentine's coming up. And so I thought, there's got to be something in here that's going to work for this, which there was. And you can see I kind of play around and look through the die cuts, looking for something that, because to me, it's being a hopeless romantic and finding, just falling in love, and uh, really using that as the idea of also using the book of falling in love with the English countryside. So I definitely was thinking about maybe doing hearts or something like that, but um, and they had lots of tags. And this was a kit this is actually a die cut. I think it was crepe paper last year. It was in the Halloween. Oh, there it is. See, love. It was definitely I think I used it in my Valentine kit last year, and so I had several of them left over that I actually am including in some Valentines this year, outgoing Valentine cards. So which actually works perfectly because I use it as a title um, on this page. So. And as I talked about in my previous video, I covered up the address here. I just didn't feel comfortable. And then I thought, well, I could I could keep it online for a little bit and then like take it off of YouTube, but then I didn't want to do that either. So um, it just didn't feel comfortable having my address out there, even though I know you can pretty much figure anything out, but just gave me peace of mind, um, and that worked. So, cutting out adventures, adding the name adventures into my um, into my book. And then you can see also I did use my little sightseeing there above the teacup, which is the prompt for this. Just adding some washi, and I love the interaction of tying this in a bow. So yeah, so I kind of took my book back to my desk and started documenting. And so basically, I talk about this being a dream, a goal, a mission. Definitely want to do this, seeing the places. I talk about my inspiration coming from Susan Branch's book. I'm actually adding some stickers here just randomly throughout the pages. These are floral stickers, and those yellow stickers there are actually from Everything Smells, and they are a sticker company. I love their products, buy them all the time. It's definitely bringing back the nostalgia of being a kid and having the smells. And these actually smell like roses, and so I thoroughly wanted to definitely use those on the page because I love the smell of them. They've been sitting on my desk and I can actually um, smell the roses. So it's like, yes, it's a perfect fit to use those. But yeah, so I also at the very bottom I wanted to make sure that I definitely put in there that the little girl where you see her drawing in her lap, that's actually a cutout from one of Susan Branch's calendars that I have. I save all her calendars. I use her calendar every year, but I wanted to definitely save that. I mean, it was perfect introduction of what this page that I did means and what exactly I'm talking about in my journal, so that if anybody ever comes through and look at my journal, or later on, I'm like, oh yeah, this was when I documented about the future trip that I want to go on. And so, but at the very bottom, I definitely wanted to make sure that I gave credit to Susan Branch for the art, for her art and for her painting England. And definitely don't forget to add your date. That's what I'm doing here. So, all right, you guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.